So this is the news on NTA International. I am Charles Alpha and my sign language interpreter is Shegun Ajayi. And now the quick look at some of our top stories. A federal government launches Nigeria Police Green Initiative to mark the country safer and more secure for economic development. Experts seek legal and institutional reforms to boost mining sector. And the federal government reaffirms commitment towards enhancing integrity of electoral process through policy reforms and collaboration with relevant key players. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been engaging in some strategic meetings with various groups this Thursday. The first of the meeting was with governors on the platform of the All Progressives Congress. The president also had a crucial meeting with traditional rulers from across the country. State House correspondent Musbao Den Wahab reports that although details of the meetings are yet to be disclosed, there are apparently measures to the state of the nation, and particularly the protest being planned by some sections of Nigerians. And the Alumni Association of the National Institute is advocating peaceful dialogue and calm amidst the proposed August 1st protest. In a statement in Abuja, ANI National President Ambassador Emmanuel Obi Okafo appealed to all stakeholders to seek a peaceful dialogue as an alternative solution. ANI acknowledges the legitimacy of peaceful protests, but calls for caution as the planned 10 days protest may be hijacked by some protesters with ulterior motives. It believes that peaceful and constructive engagements between the government and the protest organizers is essential to addressing the issues raised and ensuring the safety and security of all Nigerians. ANI equally urges the government at all levels to initiate an open and transparent dialogue with the organizers to understand their demands and work towards practical solutions. And still on the planned protest, the Department of State Services says it has identified the sponsors of the planned protest and warned them not to proceed with the protest as it is not in Nigeria's interest. In a statement, the service acknowledges that while peaceful protest is a democratic right of citizens, it confirms a sinister plans by some elements to infiltrate the protest and use it to cause chaos and extreme violence in the land. The outfit maintains it has also identified the reasons behind the protest to be political, and the plotters desire to use the intended violent outcome to smear the federal and subnational governments, thereby making them unpopular and pitch them against the masses. The long-term objective, the DSS confirm, is to achieve a regime change, especially at the center. The statement adds that the service has also identified, among others, the funding lines, sponsors, and collaborators of the plot. However, it does not think that aggression should be the first line of action in the instance in handling the emerging scenario. It has instead applied non-kinetic and conflict resolution strategies, including moral persuasion, stakeholders' engagements, and other multi-track diplomatic shuttles to persuade the planners from actualizing their undesirable objective. The Defense Headquarters, meanwhile, says based on constitutional provisions, it will not fold its arms and watch Nigeria turns to anarchy. Director of Defense Media Operations Major General Edward Buba announced this at the Defense Headquarters in Abuja. Now, Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
It is another Defense Media Operations briefing to update Nigerians on ongoing armed forces operations across the country.
There are plans by unscrupulous elements to hijack this protest and make sure that it turns violent.
top is the discovery of plans to hijack the proposed nationwide protest by targeting government and private property.
While the protesters have a right by the Constitution to protest, they do not have a right to galvanize for the unleashing of terror. The military will not stand by and allow anarchy to befall our nation. It is our constitutional responsibility to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Similarly, the Defense Headquarters has established a unified security command structure in the Niger Delta region to curb oil theft in line with the recent presidential directives.
A unified command structure where all the security agencies will function under, ensuring the transparency of the international oil companies operating in the region, reinforcing surveillance of the oil infrastructures deployed across the Niger Delta region.
The director stressed that troops have upscaled the destruction of terrorists and bandits, logistics and military base, and are also targeting their commanders and foot soldiers. From the Defense Headquarters in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Bauchi state government has discouraged Nigerians from participating in any act or protest that might not only affect the country's peaceful atmosphere, but also divert the attention of both federal and state governments from the processes of alleviating the current economic hardship. Secretary to the state government, Ibrahim Kashim, stated this while debunking the allegation that there was a directive for the closure of all primary health care centers during the nationwide planned protest in the state. Awal Abdullahi reports.
Bauchi State, known to be the most peaceful state in the northeastern part of the country, is what the Secretary to the state government, Ibrahim Kashim, said will remain in compliance with the constitutional provision to ensure the status quo. Ibrahim Kashim also cautioned the potential protesters to desist from organizing any demonstration that might jeopardize the security of Nigeria as a nation, stressing that the state will not tolerate any breakdown of law and order.
It's not welcoming any address, and it's not going to happen in Bauchi State. Bauchi State is known for its peace and tranquility, where people live peacefully and go about their daily businesses without any let or hindrance. And we're determined to make it happen and to continue to be like that.
The Bauchi state government has, however, described the information going around about the approval to close the state primary health care centers as fabricated one. In Bauchi, Awal Abdullahi, NTA News.
Away now from the planned protests, the federal government has now launched the Nigeria Police Green Initiative to make the country safer and more secured for economic development in the face of emerging climate change challenges. Vice President Kashim Shettima adds the inauguration restated commitment to provide a roadmap towards a secured, sustainable future for Nigeria. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Green Initiative, the Nigeria Police contribution to the global commitment towards mitigating the effects of climate change. The design of a framework to implement the creation of a greener and environmentally conscious nation.
The Nigerian Police Green Initiative, therefore, emphasizes our bid to prioritize innovation and partnerships as fundamental drivers for the nation's transition to a green economy. This is an opportunity for you to transition the facilities of your institution to renewable energy sources and promote environmental awareness and education.
The initiative is also setting a stage to support Nigeria's energy transition plan through the promotion of eco-friendly transportation method, adoption of renewable energy sources, and innovative technology development for a sustainable value chain.
The Nigeria Police Green Initiative is not only a moral imperative, but also a strategic necessity. Its benefits include contributing to clean energy and energy efficiency, emission reduction, and infrastructure modernization.
It will also position the force as a modern initiative organization, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa as well. At NASENI, we are therefore very delighted to be partners and collaborators with the Nigerian Police Force and NTAi on this.
The unveiling of the Nigerian Police Green Initiative at the 28th session of the Conference of Parties further signals Nigeria's commitment to partner with stakeholders in providing technology in the green space. In Abuja, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Still on climate change, 5 states in Nigeria have been rated high based on efforts targeted at addressing impacts of climate change at state level by a report on climate governance ranking of the 36 states. The ranking is coming as the federal government sets out to encourage collective fights of the subnationals on mitigating impacts of the global problem. The report, Climate Governance Performance Ranking of the 36 States of Nigeria 2024, launched by the Ministry of Environment in synergy with the Society for Planet and Prosperity, ranked Lagos as number 1 with 182 points on climate change, institutional arrangements and administrative structure, policy and action, budget and finance, implementation and control, as well as online visibility with preference on climate change. Gombe ranked second in these areas with 128 points. Ebonyi raked 125 points and sits third, while Borno and Ekiti were jointly ranked in the 4th position with 115 points each.
We are very happy to receive this award, to be recognized as one of the states that are leading in terms of mitigation against climate change.
Many states are working hard to generate climate policies and action plans. So again, the ranking and the rating project is an open exam, is an open book.
The subnational government are often at the forefront of implementing policies and actions that directly affect the lives and livelihood of the people at the grassroots.
From intensified droughts to severe flooding, the impacts are evident across our states. We must recognize the pivotal role of our subnational governments in climate action.
The rating and ranking of climate governance of Nigerian states is intended to promote climate awareness. The pathway towards the realization of the African Union Agenda 2063 has been laid out at the African Transformation Conference in Abuja, designed to advance conversations on the tenets of the AU Agenda 2063, how to align various national objectives with goals of the agenda was the dominant theme. Calvin Naya reports.
Alignment of national objectives to the broader AU Agenda 2063 will help speed up the path to meeting the continental aspirations without disorganizing the efforts of the various countries and blocs. This conference in Abuja, put together by the AU Ambassadorial Assembly, is specifically trying to use the renewed hope agenda in Nigeria to create a template where all aspects of development can be treated distinctively while keeping an eye on the target of 2063.
The main purpose of Agenda 2063 is to accelerate African development by fostering inclusive growth, take note of it, inclusive growth, sustainable development, regional integrations, and good governance.
The Senate leader is committed to ensuring that Nigeria plays a key role in the continental journey, fostering economic growth, security, infrastructure development, social welfare, and governance reforms.
The conference was also used to officially launch the Agenda 2063 project, opening of Agenda 2063 learning portal in all AU official languages, and decoration of selected individuals as champions of the project, where Okpeyemi Bamidele, the leader of the Nigerian Senate, is expected to be the torch bearer. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewonwaye, NTA News.
Other news, the World Health Organization says 15 children and 1 adult from Gaza are traveling from Egypt to Spain to receive care for complicated medical conditions. From Apanya reports.
UN Health Agency says children were aged 3 to 17 and the mother of one of the children was also due to receive treatment in Spain. The chief, Tedros Ghebreyesus, in a statement said these very sick children will be getting the care they need thanks to cooperation between several partners and countries. The patient had been hospitalized in Egypt for several months after evacuation from Gaza. The World Health Organization added that they were among thousands of children and adults from Gaza in need of access specialized medical care outside the Palestinian territory. Hailing the support and facilitation provided by Egypt and Spain, Tedros urged other countries who have the capacity and medical facilities to welcome people who through no fault of theirs are caught in the grips of the war. The children, who were accompanied by 25 family members and other caregivers, had been in Egypt since before May 6, when the Rafah border crossing was closed, making evacuations impossible. World Health Organization said only 23 people have been evacuated since then via the nearby Kerem Shalom crossing. The agency appealed for the establishment of multiple medical evacuation corridors from Gaza, including through Rafah and Kerem Shalom. Frama Pani, NTA News.
In watching the news on NTA International, we will take a quick break. Please do stay with us for more reports ahead.
To the people of Nigeria, we must protect our country. We must say protest not in my state. We must adopt a peaceful and dialogue-driven approach in our pursuit of change. Clearly, we must articulate our demands and be willing to listen to others. Engage in open and constructive conversations with the government. Many of us are weary of the agenda of the promoters of the planned protest. To protest is a process that ends in dialogue. But the peaceful protest is not guaranteed. Let us start with dialogue, not protest. We must find a rally point, create a podium, and take turns to air our views without exposing innocent citizens to danger. Remember that harming ordinary citizens who may not share our vision is not acceptable. Instead, we must work towards winning their endorsement. We cannot destroy what we have to demand for what we do not have. This government is addressing the issues, and we want to be part of finding solutions. We want rice, not cries, food, not boots. We want dialogue, not protest. We must protect Nigeria.
In a land of peace and harmony, we cherish our freedom and unity. But around the world, we've seen how protests can spiral into chaos. What starts as a peaceful protest can sometimes end in anarchy, tearing communities apart.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days.
So those who experience it will run away from it.
Let's learn from these experiences. Let's value dialogue over destruction. Together, we can build a brighter future. Let's choose unity. Let's choose peace. Join us in the Peaceful Future Initiative, because together we can make a difference. Nigeria, a land of rich culture and diverse voices, where every voice matters. In times of disagreement, let's choose dialogue over discord. Together, we can find solutions through understanding and respect. Let's build a stronger Nigeria, one conversation at a time. Dialogue, not protest. Unity, not division. Nigeria, united in dialogue.
This season, enjoy all the better moments with GoTV. Your football party GoTV, they give you better deal of decoder plus GoTenna for only 19,900 naira. Make you enjoy correct football action live on Top Super Sport. GoTV.
Thank you for staying with us. An attack in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo has killed some 20 people. Local sources linked the attack to militants affiliated with a terrorist group. The attack, attributed to the Allied Democratic Forces militant group, took place in the Beni territory in the troubled North Kivu province. Nicholas Kuku, mayor of the commune of Oicha, the capital of the Beni territory, where victims were cultivating their fields, said the farmers were killed by gunshots or knives in a village around 30 kilometers from Oicha, where most of the bodies were brought. The mayor was not able to specify the exact date of their deaths. Darius Saira, civil society representative for Beni, said 19 bodies were deposited at the morgue. Saira said the body is asking for military reinforcement in the region west of Oicha since the end of 2021. The Congolese and Ugandan armies have been conducting joint operations against the ADF in North Kivu and the neighboring province of Ituri. Now, President Joe Biden, speaking to the nation, said his decision to step aside from the 2024 presidential race is in defense of democracy and passing the torch to a new generation. In his speech, which marked the beginning of the end of his presidency and half-century in public service, Biden acknowledged that uniting the party required sacrificing personal ambition for what he sees as a greater good.
It's been the honor of my life to serve as your president. But in the defense of democracy, which is at stake, I think is more important than any title. I draw strength and I find joy in working for the American people. But this sacred task of perfecting our union is not about me. It's about you, your families, your futures. It's about we, the people. We can never forget that.
Now, for Nigeria to open up investments in the mining industry, there is the need for thorough legal and institutional reforms. This is the submission of legal experts at the inaugural lecture of the Nigerian Institute for Advanced Legal Studies on a topic towards realizing the potential of the mining sector, policy, legal and institutional reform imperatives for Nigeria. Austin Anyebe reports.
As a foremost institution in advanced legal research, it continues to identify key areas that hold potential for national development. This time, its searchlight is on the mining sector, where Nigeria is said to be endowed with 44 different mineral resources in about 450 locations in virtually all states of the Federation. A professor of mining law and policy, Peter Teka Akpe, who delivered a lecture attended by some former Attorney Generals of Nigeria, members of the bench and the bar, as well as the Solicitor General of the Federation, chronicled the journey of activities of the mining sector in the past 5 decades, identified potentials for revenue, challenges, and concluded with solutions on how to have a regulatory commission for the sector.
We need to enact a progressive Minerals and Mining Act. We need to restructure the ministry. In this regard, I'm talking about unbundling the Ministry of Solid Minerals Department to take away those technical departments so that they can form the nucleus of the regulator that I'm advocating for.
Director General of NIAS and former Attorney General of the Federation, reacting to the lecture, said the present administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is making a giant stride, particularly with the registration and licensing of thousands of artisanal miners' cooperatives.
The mining sector requires, roads, infrastructure, or if like transport infrastructure must be on ground. You must also have soft infrastructure, and that is you must have a strong ICT regime where you have a national data bank on all your minerals and mineral resources, and also information about where to tap them and how to tap them.
Going forward, what we need really is a holistic policy and implementation plan to really be able to enable us deepen and widen opportunities there.
They look forward to the passage of the 2 bills before the National Assembly to kickstart the desired legal reforms in the sector. In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
The Renewed Hope initiative of President Tinubu to provide affordable quality houses for Nigerian citizens is a task which the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development is poised to fulfill. This position was reiterated during the oversight visit by the Senate Committee on Land, Housing and Urban Development to the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. Francis Udojo has the details.
The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, who played host to the Senate committee, said the groundbreaking for the construction of 100,000 housing units across the Federation took place at Karasana in Abuja and has been replicated in some states, including Kano, with plans to deliver the Renewed Hope estates and cities in December 2024. He described the Senate committee's visit crucial to achieving the President Tinubu's housing agenda for Nigerians.
They are happy with the spread of the estate, that it covers the entire nation. And they are happy it even cut across all political parties. No anyone will come and say that there is any favoritism to the ruling party or any other party. We also took them through the public-private partnerships that we are doing with some of the reputable developers, to which Karsana is one of it. We are building 3,112 sites.
The Chairman, Senate Committee on Land, Housing and Urban Development, Senator Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, said it is a constitutional mandate of the committee to carry out oversight visits to ensure that the funds appropriated for projects are judiciously used.
Democracy, of course, that's about checks and balances. How else do you know what's happening if you don't go to the site visits? So that's why we're here. And of course, we are ready to support the program of the federal government in providing affordable housing for Nigerians under the Renewed Hope agenda.
The senator and his team promised to make more budgetary provisions for the ministry to ensure timely completion of the housing projects. Francis Udojo, NT News.
And this is where we end the news. Many thanks for being part of it. I am Charles Alpha.
Hours a day. NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide a company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment.